And that's how it played out on Hangout. We are now joined by Stanley Achonu, a social media commentator and openness advocate. The participants on the Hangout spoke more about the Senate, but let's talk about the House of Representatives, even though we didn't have a lot of controversy there because, you know, he was elected, there was a vote, and he came up. But what's your take on, you know, the National Assembly generally, the leadership that has caused so much talk even before they start working?
You know, with this kind of situation, there's a tendency to be distracted by the politics behind it. And we tend to quickly forget that there are the issues that affect Nigerians that we should worry about. And historically, we've seen that the House of Representatives especially has played a sort of activist role in terms of checkmating the executive more than the Senate. The Senate has always been the more matured, more relaxed, laid-back kind of house, while the House of Representatives has always been very outspoken, very, you know, on the people's side kind of people's house. So I think that more than what has happened in the Senate, it is more interesting that we have the kind of leadership we have in the Senate. In a way, the APC might feel a bit angry about the outcome of the election, but they are guaranteed of 2 top positions in the House who are members of their political party. But for me, more than any other thing, for me is that do we expect the kind of leadership that the citizens are currently advocating for? For example, we have spent a considerable amount of time and resources championing for open NASS. Do I think that the current leadership of the National Assembly, especially House of Reps, will lead to that? We listen to the voice of the people and open up the National Assembly. I think we have a window of opportunity there. Based on the work we have done, 2 of the leaders in the National Assembly, at least the Senate President and the current Speaker, did make commitment before the election that they will support open NASS. So, for me personally, I have no issue.
Since open NASS, here we come.
Yes.
Okay, but what do you think about this? You know, seeing the APC in the position of the Senate President and opposition now, the PDP as a deputy. How do you think that will play out?
Interesting. There's always a first, you know. So I think that it will put more pressure on the Senate President. This is an angle people haven't exactly looked at because, especially in the Senate, the PDP will most likely be able to get their way if the Senate President is not on seat. If they continue the way they've behaved leading to this election by speaking with one voice, you should remember that to form a quorum in the National Assembly, you need 36 members. And whatever decision they make out of that quorum stands. So in the case where they have planned something similar to this election based on any particular issue, with the Deputy Senate President presiding, PDP will be able to get issues across through the Senate. So it's very, 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 very interesting.
Do you think that's why the APC, you know, turned out not to be so happy about the leadership?
No, I don't think that is why APC is not happy about it. APC is not happy about it because they didn't get their way. And for me, I think I will sort of put the blame on them. Seeing that they had 2 very strong personalities running for that position, I didn't think it was wise for the party to endorse one candidate over the other. And then considering that you have a very ambitious opposition. So what I would have told if I was in the leadership of the party, what I would have asked the 2 candidates is go and gather the votes. Because if the 2 candidates knew that the party wasn't backing any of them, what they probably would have done is gone back to the PDP, right? And start to make offers to influential leaders in the PDP. And there is no 2 ways about it. There will be some people who also have ambition to be committee chairman. You know, they would be willing to trade off something. So you wouldn't have gotten PDP's bulk vote the way you did. But once PDP realized that there was a division within the house of APC, and they saw that some people weren't exactly happy with the leadership of the APC, it was a good opportunity to get back at them. So they just took it. So I kind of blame all of it on the way the APC leadership handled it.
Okay, so now we know that for smooth running of the economy, of the Nigerian economy, make law, implement law and everything, there has to be a good relationship between the executive and the judiciary. how do you see the 8th Assembly, talking about your relationship with the executive arm of the government?
No problem at all. As long as the party leadership is not running the government, um, I tend to trust what the president says. And he has made it clear that he's open to working with anybody. And I don't see Speaker Dogora and Senate President Saraki antagonizing the president. There is absolutely no reason why they should. If at all there will be any disagreement, it will be based on issues. I don't see personal ego. There's no basis for that. So except the leadership of the party decides to run the government, I really haven't seen.
Did you see that coming up again after what has already happened?
Who knows? It's APC, you know. And you know, one of the things that people always forget about coalition government, and we have seen this example around the world, it's easy to get to the victory point, but managing that victory is always very difficult. So I was surprised the way APC reacted immediately after the election, going as far as saying they are not their candidates, they do not recognize them. I think they went a bit too far. They were almost, you know, borrowing out of the lead from PDP in relation to Tamboa. So, but I think that they've gone back and realized that these are still our members, irrespective of what happens. They are still our members, and if we continue to fight them, we're going to open ourselves up for people on the outside to also attack us. So I see them, you know, in the next coming days mending fences, you know, everybody coming back to work as well.
Yeah, well, they have already started that. They say they've accepted the result, the leadership.
Exactly.
And all that.
The APC chairman did say that they recognize them, that, you know, there wasn't in fact, we thought without APC's recognition, they were already elected, duly elected. So I expect some sort of reconciliation, full-on reconciliation in the coming days. I expect that the president will make out time to meet with the new leadership of the National Assembly, reach out to them, irrespective of what has happened. Above all, somebody has promised Nigerians change. And Nigerians won't entertain the excuse of saying our candidates didn't get the leadership position of the National Assembly, that's why we are unable to deliver the change. That won't count to an average Nigerian like me, who wants to see the books of National Assembly in the open. I don't think that would be a good enough excuse for me to say, oh, okay, I understand why you haven't been able to meet up. So they have no choice. They will have to go back to the drawing board, you know, set up some sort of reconciliation meetings, and, you know, begin to talk to themselves. That's the only option left to them.
Yeah, and finally, you advocating for open NASS, and we already have the Freedom of Information law, you know, the bill that has been signed to law. Right. I mean, if you have that, do you really need to advocate for open NASS?
Funny enough, we are where we are because the same people who passed the law have refused to obey the law. At the moment, we're in court with the National Assembly because when we made an FOI request for the details of their budgetary expenditure for the last 4 years, amounting to 600 billion naira, the clerk of the National Assembly said the National Assembly budget contains personal third-party information, which the FOI law says that you cannot release to the public. But we are arguing that this is public fund and this is public institution, just like the judiciary, just like ASO Rock as well. And we have looked at ASO Rock budget in detail, and there's no personal third-party information. So we're asking the court to help us get the clerk of the National Assembly to explain to us what he means by third-party information in the expenditure of public funds. So the case is currently in court at the moment.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Stanley,
sure,
for coming on the program, and wish you the best.
Thank you.
in your case. We'll go on another break, and when we return, we'll check out your messages on our social media platforms and also see the top 5 most viewed videos in the past week.
The video showing President Muhammadu Buhari taking the oath of office on May 29, 2015 continues to gain more views on Channels Television's YouTube page. This is the 5th most viewed video in the past week. That video is followed by the merriment which came after the inauguration ceremony as the new president and vice president of Nigeria celebrate with invited guests in Aso Rock. As the regional war against the Boko Haram insurgency takes shape, the approval of $30 million by the Lake Chad Basin Committee for the multinational Joint Task Force headquarters is the 3rd most viewed video. On another merry note, the colorful wedding ceremony of Edo Governor Adams Oshiomhole and his wife is the 2nd most viewed video. Topping the chart is a video of one of the teenage mothers rescued from a baby-making factory in Imo State, narrating her experience.
I didn't know that the baby would be sold out. So on 24th of November 2013, I gave birth to a bouncing baby girl that was promised to be given 100,000 naira.
Those were the comments you sent to our Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus pages, as well as the top 5 videos you watch the most on our YouTube channel. After speculation of impending legal action against the newly inaugurated leadership of the Senate and the House of Representatives, the APC has accepted the emergence of Senator Bukola Saraki as the president of the Senate. Now that the dust has settled, all eyes will be on the National Assembly to see what changes will be made in the country through the progressive laws and good governance. This is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of the program. However, the conversation continues online via the addresses showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Edie Thompson.